Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jackson.
Welcome back to all you Regs and to all you Shinies. Welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast. Please, before we begin, hit that like, hit that comment, subscribe. All of our social medias down below. Make sure that you follow us on all of that. Discord's linked down below if you want to talk to cool people in the Discord. Make sure that you hit that up. And we do channel memberships if you want a nice little sticker next to your name. It's only like a credit a month, so do that. And we have Patreon if you want to support us on Patreon.
Heck yeah. And some housekeeping things really quick, everybody. Trying a new design for the show this week so that we're not so spread apart. Sorry for all of you audio listeners. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Okay, that's weird. But sorry for all you audio listeners out there. Just because I was checking the uploads for the few previous episodes and some of them had not gone up correctly. If you are listening to us on Spotify, there should be a poll asking about the quality of the recordings. So please, if you have the time, do that poll for us so I can kind of see and gauge like what I need to edit or change in the future. Also, be sure to stick to the end of this episode because we have a very special outro for our show done by a very, very special person who I will not say until the end of the episode. So you have to watch to the very end of the episode to find it out.
Or just skip
Jacob,
to the
how was
end.
your week? No, please don't. No, I'm playing.
Week's been fine. Week's been fine. Doing nothing but work. I'm working. Outside of that, I went to Animal Kingdom yesterday because I had like a little bit of time off. Yesterday I went to I started the day out in Epcot so I could do Guardians of the Galaxy, and I can't remember what song it was. It was a song I haven't gotten before, so that was cool. And then from there we park hopped to Hollywood Studios where we did Tower Terror and Star Tours. I think that was it. Went back. What else did we do? Rock and Roller Coaster, which was good. Went back, made lunch, and then Alexa had like a backstage tour of Everest, which is something cool that the cast members. So like depending on where you work, sometimes they give you like you could do a backstage tour of like certain areas. So like next week I might be doing one of the entire Toy Story area.
That would be neat.
Which would be cool. But while she did that, I went around DAC by myself, and I hit Dinosaur since it's gonna be closing and turning into Indiana Jones. Thank God, I'm so excited for that. But it was fun because I sat in the back, and if you sit on the edge, because I don't know if you remember going on Dinosaur. I don't think we did when we went because it's like it's in this
I remember
corner.
going on it, but you not going on it because you were scared.
I don't, yeah, because I didn't remember going. I remember seeing the building, but I don't remember the ride itself. But
I definitely remember it, Mom.
If you sit in the back and because you remember how like there's no doors on the car itself. If you sit like right on the end, they're like in the back, you feel like you're gonna fly out the entire time. So I was sitting in the back on the door seat, and I was like, oh, the entire time. So that's always fun. And then everything went down because of weather. So then I was like, I got time to kill. The park closes at 6. It's the earliest closing park.
Oh wow.
So I went to do Avatar's The Flight of Passage, which is the longest wait at that thing because she wasn't going to get done until after the park closed anyway. So I was like, I'll just kill time. I was in that line for 2 hours. The park closed at 6. I got off that ride at 6:30, 6:45.
I can't believe they would still run that though.
Well, so usually because what they do is instead of cutting off at the front of the line, so like you get all the way up to the front, they're like, sorry, the park's closed, you got to leave. They just cut off at the end. So they just stop letting people in, and then they filter out that line, and then they close. So they do the same thing for Rise, for lots of the rides they do. So they filter out everybody after that. But there were still a lot of people, not a lot of people, but many people getting cycled through Avatar. So I just hung out like when the park was closed in the Avatar area of DAC. I got some like videos and stuff. I got to appreciate lots of like the ambiance and the lights and the whole area is like it's like this really cool like natural sculpture of like floating rocks and waterfalls and stuff. So I got to like walk around, like really appreciate all the work that went into it without screaming children being like, yeah, and like people being like, blue people ride and like pushing and shoving to get their way to there. And like people pushing around their strollers, which make too much noise. And it's just, I got to be there by myself and it was quiet, which was cool. And then I try to lollygag and try to get to like Africa or places like that. And they're like, you need to leave. I was like, okay. So, yeah, that was fun. That was, I think that's the only interesting thing I did this week. I can't think of anything else.
Nice.
And then at work, I can't think of anything interesting happening.
Fair. I will be in this recording setup for one more week, just because we have to dog sit for, it's like a 2 more like week period until the owners come back. But this will probably be a process that's happening in the next few months, but I will probably have a collection backdrop coming very soon because we are looking to move into a different area, so it will not be blank walls behind me anymore. I may even consider getting a lot of my action figures from the mainland shipped over to Hawaii, just so that I can have them like all displayed, but we shall see, But I ended up going on a
big news, my car's gonna get fixed.
Oh, that's good.
Finally.
Jacob will be mobile again.
I will. I'll be a lethal on wheels. I'll have more time now because I don't have to wait for the bus, and I hate the bus. But so I'll be lethal on wheels. I finally got the parts ordered. I found a shop that will put them in. Screw to the dealership that quoted me $5,000 originally. Screw you. We're getting it done for like less than $2. Screw you. So be wheeling and dealing.
No,
I mean, I won't be dealing anything, but I'll be wheeling. Anyway, sorry.
No, my bad. But I ended up doing a hike yesterday for my Hawaii people out here. I will never recommend the poly hikes because I was with my wife and then one of her good friends who's just visiting right now, and we were like, okay, we're gonna do a happy 1 mile down to a waterfall and back. And that 1 mile down to the waterfall and back ended up being like a 4 mile, like we're walking on top of the mountains kind of stuff, and we were like super lost on like a 6 mile like trail. And yeah, it was just rough, but it was fun. But it was just, we were to the point where we were like, where are we in the trail? Like, led us to the top of the mountain, and we're like looking over everything, and we're like, this isn't where the waterfall should be. So kind of a fun adventure, but I'm glad to at least do something to enjoy my day off rather than just being at work, because work is very slow right now because everyone is back in school, which makes me feel really weird now because I'm in school like online, but this is the first time in my life where I don't have to like go somewhere for school, and everybody else is like, oh, it's back to school for me, and I'm like, what's happening? I'm too old, I can't do this.
Same thing for me, but it's just like I'm just taking the semester off and doing this as an internship, and then I go back. But going back in the spring rather than the fall is going to be really weird.
It's going to be wicked, dude. But we have some awesome Star Wars stuff to talk about. Well, I wouldn't really say awesome Star Wars stuff to talk. Some unfortunate stuff. I'm just used to saying it because I'm usually happy about the news. The big news of this week, though, is regarding the ACOLYTE. So Deadline had put out an article, spread like wildfire to everyone else, saying that Disney was not allowing the ACOLYTE to proceed with this season 2, and that Disney was just trying to cut ties really with anything regarding the ACOLYTE. And for not being an official Disney statement, take it for what you will. However, we are seeing very, very solid evidence that this is the case. Jacob was just mentioning it to me before, and I had only just seen this last night. But you were talking about
Shop Disney took off everything ACOLYTE related. Everything on Shop Disney is gone, which is a bummer because the Stranger helmet hasn't even come out yet, and I really want it. I was hoping it was going to show up in the parks, and now I'm not sure if they're gonna. So
yeah, well, the Black Series one will still come out at least. You know, that's something that's very much like it will like show up.
Yeah, overall, it was a bummer just because the show left off on a cliffhanger, and I know I wasn't around like too much when for recording episodes when the final season was coming out because that was right when I started just massively picking up my OT. But it's just I liked it. I liked the show a lot. I'm not saying like it's one of my favorites, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I liked the last episode a lot with all like the little things they set up for next season. I'm just kind of like, now I'm bummed that we're not going to see any of it.
I know. I mean, obviously, like everyone originally was like, this is never going to get a season 2, yada, yada, yada. But we had discussed before on the show that other Star Wars shows performed worse than the Acolyte. The Acolyte was just kind of like a mid-tier like level, at least for ratings, at least. So it wasn't like especially bad. It just had a very poor audience reception online on Rotten Tomatoes and a few other service sites that fans can kind of say what they will about it. But I am I am personally genuinely shocked that the fandom menace like was able to push so hard against something for once that it worked. So now it's like it has the solo treat because we'll never see a solo part 2 as we'll never see an Acolyte season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks for ruining stuff. And now this just gives them. They're like, oh, if we just band together and complain about it, then they'll not make other things that we want. So you just gave them the Sonic treatment again, where they're like, if we
Yeah.
complain enough, we can change it because we, the audience, demand it. And now they're probably going to do it so much that they just go, maybe we should just stop making Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too, because now what's the point where all these people just complain about things needlessly to the point where a big corporation's like, okay, maybe it legitimately is no longer profitable for us to make Star Wars based content or do anything with the Star Wars IP again. Which I would say in my prediction, if this were to continuously happen for the next 5 years, and people were like, oh, like I don't like this and I don't like this, then I feel like Disney very well could just drop it. Because if they're not making money off of it, then they're just not going to touch
Just
it.
stop making new stuff, and then they just harbor out OT shit for the end of time.
I mean, as
I don't
much
think they're
as
ever going to sell the IP.
no, they absolutely would not sell the. They would sit on that for an eternity, but they'll probably still try to make like a movie here and there. I mean, I really feel like they're trying to bank off this Mando and Grogu movie performing like very, very well, so that will be like the next kickstart back into like okay, like people like Star Wars again. Kind of thing.
I think there's kickback for Star Wars in the theaters, but apparently Mpox is popping up in the States, and people are rumoring that there might be another shutdown because it's
Mpox is not a lethal thing. 0.00 something percent of people die from Mpox, and that is an official WHO statement, World Health Organization statement. So I do not think that that is going to be the case. I think it's
you
very.
say that, but there's still people that are like so germophobic now after COVID. It's just, but especially like in the parks, I still see people like walking around like all masked up, hand sanitizer with them all the time. Like people are still scared. So we'll see.
Nah.
We
But
shall see.
where else was I going with that? But yeah, really like upset genuinely that like the Acolyte would just not return. Even for all the merch to get taken down, I feel like is. I mean, it confirms it, but it's just
That's just
insane
evil.
to me. Yeah, I mean,
That's
they
evil.
could have sold some merch at the park. I was always of that opinion.
They never had any.
Well, yeah, but I always think when a new Star Wars show comes out, they should have things for it at the park at least.
That's what you would think. You would think. But it's like for the product pipeline to the parks, it's so disjointed. Because I still have yet to see anything Bad Batch related here. I don't think anything Bad Batch ever
Nothing
came
Bad
out.
Batch ever came out for season. I mean, they maybe made a few T-shirts online for it, but there was like no strong merchandise at all for the Bad Batch, which kind of killed it for me. Just because I wanted like cool like merchandise from the last season or just anything.
Yeah, it's so. So now there's a void in Star Wars stuff that could be coming. So now I have no idea what will be coming down the pipeline. Other than
Yeah,
we got
because the
Skeleton
only
Crew,
thing
we
we
got
know
Andor,
is
and we got the Mando movie, and
Ahsoka season 2 in parentheses quotations, I should say like that. But
yeah,
we have no clear. Yeah, just because I am still just like wow that Disney never released like a genuine like schedule of shows. But maybe I'm honestly even gonna say just because they maybe didn't do that because the last time they did it, most of those projects didn't come to fruition, and so they're
that's
just kind of
definitely
playing
it.
it by ear.
So, oh well. Goodbye, Acolyte. I liked you. Chimere was an amazing character, fantastic actor. Loved his character
Yeah.
design. Wanted to see
Yes.
more of him. Never get to see
Hmm.
him again, unfortunately. But you'll get to meet him at Celebration. That's probably what the last time he'll be at Celebration, if Disney, because
Yeah. The first
Celebration's so corporate
and
now.
last time.
Probably. Um, so make sure that you get the helmet and then you get it signed.
Yeah. I think I would hashtag say the stranger first of all, because if they're cutting Acolyte merch, that could very well mean they won't make any more Black Series figures or won't
I
approve of any
know.
more Acolyte characters made. So it's like the stranger's the one thing
It's
like
the
people
one
really
figure
wanted
I want.
from the
It's
Acolyte.
the one
The
figure I
one
want
thing,
from that show.
because I still want Master Soul, and I'll still look around because I have people here telling me that they're randomly popping up, or I'll just get to the point where I buy it online. But
Mhm.
yeah, I was just like, that is the one thing I want, because I wouldn't
Mhm.
honestly meet him at Celebration if I didn't have something for him to sign, because I don't really like getting like the regular like photos like signed of people,
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
even
I'm hoping it
gosh,
pops up here so I can
they
just
didn't
get
get
it
to do
here. So I have to
lightsabers
ship
at the
it.
park.
Yeah, no, they're probably never gonna now. Which would have been so cool if you could have like one of his that like broke into two and had like two blade hole. That would
Oh,
have been so
that
cool.
would have been sick. Or
It
even
would
any
have.
of the lightsaber designs were just dope in general. Maybe they'll do a box set or something. I don't know.
No, I guess we'll have to read. They're gonna continue the Acolyte. It's gonna be in the books. It's gonna be in some four High Republic books. So
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I just do not want to have to read anything, but
Jackson's like, no reading, no.
well, I'm already doing reading every day for my classes, so it's just kind of like more reading.
Jackson's like, if David Goggins didn't write it, I don't want to read it.
Already read all of his books. Oh,
Or if it's
something
about the
that I was
Pastafarian religion, I don't want to read it.
something I actually forgot to mention at the beginning of this episode too. So for all the people that are currently in Hawaii, at the beginning of September, Honolulu Comic Con is happening, and they were kind of like slowly releasing guests and such for that. And the lady who voices Ayla Secura is going to be at the con, but not only does she voice Ayla, she also voices Basta LaShawn from KOTOR and Senator Chuchi, which I was like, no way, because the event was only like promoting her as like she's huge. She voiced one of the original characters in X-Men '87, and they have
Okay.
another gentleman who did that too. So like, boom, X-Men people. But I was like, voice people don't usually do just one role. And one of my friends at my work was like, yeah, like you should really look into that. And that's all I did. Just Googled her name, voice roles, and it was a top result. And I was like, no way. So Amazon had a sale. Amazon had a sale, and I was like, yoink to that Ayla figure, because although we are no longer going to be attending ICC Con, uh, and the actual like person who played Ayla is going to be there. I'll still get to meet the voice actress, which is kind of a dub. So not really too mad about that. But the con kind of has a little bit of like smaller people. But if you are in the area you want to go, just know that's a cool Star Wars person that will be there, and our local garrison will also be there trooping all 3 days. I will be there for 2 days, and I'll probably make a vlog for it as well.
Nice. Should be fun. I don't. There's not a whole lot of cons around here, and if there are, I'm not like researching them. All I'm really looking at, I'm like, music. Who's coming here? Knocked Loose is coming to Orlando. I
Yeah,
want to
because
go.
for us, we have this Honolulu Con. I think next month and a half we have Amazing Con, and then there's another like smaller. I hit my tripod, whoopsie! But there's another like smaller con too that is like a 1 day event, kind of like a toy thing. So that's all that they really do. Some of the other islands do their own cons, but I can't really bring my suit to the other islands because it's a little bit
Why not just
complicated.
swim? Just swim.
People do that here. They do swimming competitions.
Oh, between the islands, see who dies first.
Wow.
Tiger shark. That video of the dude fishing and the shark attacks his boat. Tiger shark.
No, dude, for how like much shark attacks do not happen, there have been like an increase of shark attacks here on the island and like shark sightings like like close to like beach areas, which just has not happened in like a while. Because I was reading up on it in the news here, and I was like, oh.
You should watch Jaws and then go to the beach, and then you'll feel real
No.
good.
Fun fact: I had a huge fear of the ocean for a while because when Jacob and I were really young and we were bored, we would turn on Animal Planet since that was the most goated TV show. Sorry, gotta move to flex in frame. The most goated TV show at the time, and I Shouldn't Be Alive was on a lot. And then people were just dying of shark attacks, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
No, they weren't dying to shark attacks. They would get attacked and maimed by sharks in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
They'd be out there for 3 months, and then like miraculously, like a fisherman would be like, "I found a person," and then they'd go back and be like, "Yeah, I shouldn't be alive," and that was the whole point of the show.
Yeah, awful show to watch as a kid, but
You're just fucking scared of everything. That and Monsters Inside Me.
yes, giving me fear of parasites for life.
That.
Yeah.
Do you know that most people have parasites in their gut that, like, they just live there, like most people do?
I'm gonna
Makes you
pretend I
wanna eat
didn't
some
hear that.
plums. Makes you wanna eat some plums and take a fat shit and get them all out of there.
No, but I'm trying to think, because at least for Star Wars news, because I mean the Acolyte thing was the biggest thing in the week too. Star Wars Outlaws comes out by the time this episode comes out a week. Wow.
And I already got it,
Jacob,
so I got my pre-order today. So I got the
yes,
early access one. I dropped the 100 so I can get all the seasons because I also got it on my computer because I can't connect my Xbox to the Wi-Fi for some reason. It just refuses to now. So I was like,
really?
okay, I can't play it because I can't download it unless I. So you're still hoping that this gaming laptop can handle it because they released the PC specs, but I'm not a PC person. I was like, man, those are numbers. I hope I'm fine. So I dropped a band on something. If it doesn't run, I'll be absolutely bumbucked, and it'll just and I won't be able to play it. I will have dropped $100 on something that's not
Jedi
refundable.
Survivor works on the computer well
Oh,
now.
Survivor looks great, but it's because after Survivor came out, there was a huge problem with PC optimization initially. And then after
Yes,
6 months, you could play it. So now every time I boot it up, it has to optimize for like a couple minutes, and then it plays like super well. So I'm hoping Outlaws plays well on this. Fingers crossed.
Can people look forward to any videos of you playing that at all, or
maybe? Because I know I have the ability because I have the NVIDIA kind of like base station and built in, and I know I can screen grab with it. So maybe we'll see how it runs. If it runs good enough, then maybe you'll see something. If it just isn't worth it, then no.
You could always just record in general and then just like splice and do like funny moments from playing it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll definitely be talking about it a lot because I want to experience the full game and get through the story. That's another nice thing about having on my computers. I'll be able to take it with me on the go. So catch me on a 15-minute break at Disney. Be like, so I don't know. I'm excited for it. I didn't get the.
Oh no, we lost Jacob. And we're back, everybody. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. Jacob's internet went out. But as I was trying to say, that would be cool if Jacob could record just like funny moments or whatnot. But I am unfortunately going to be a little bit late to the Outlaws game just because of the dog sitting. I don't have I would bring my Xbox here, but I don't really have time to play it because I only get like 2 days off.
The dogs might eat it.
Yes.
You might be like, here's my Xbox.
The dogs have unfortunately chewed a lot of things up here. Yes. That's why my caption is, yes, there's dogs, because I thought they would be barking a whole lot more this episode because I've had to mute myself several times before, but they're being decent. So
you say that, and now you've jinxed it, and now they're just gonna the entire time. So
they're sleeping in the corner right now because I took them out right before.
I should wake them up. Let me wake them up.
That's why I have this.
I got you. Take it out.
I have this.
Take it out.
No, I'm always showing the wrong side of just like everything on here because I always do a point, and then it's the wrong like thing.
Yeah, because you're dumb and stupid. It's okay. It's okay that you're dumb and stupid. We all know. I have a banger idea for next week's episode.
Okay. Hit us with it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would I
I
say
thought that
it?
was going to be like a public tease for the show.
No, me just saying that is tease enough. And watch us run out of time to do the setup for it, and then we just don't fucking do it. Come back and we're like, all right, guys, today we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite toenails. Number one, Benjamin Franklin's, aka Fritos. If you eat Fritos,
Ew.
you eat Benjamin
Ew.
Franklin's toenails. He kept
No,
them in
but
the
we
jar,
are
and now
doing,
you can eat
uh,
them.
if you are still here for the show, make sure that you are also paying attention. We kind of soft launched a new series called 1313 Collectors Updates, which appear on just short form content. It's really just supposed to be quick thoughts on like new products that come out. And then we are bringing back Have a Chat. It will not be a weekly occurrence. We're probably going to try to keep it bi-weekly. And we'll probably just tell y'all when we're doing it. But our next interview is going to be my local garrison's leadership, just because we're going to start to promote them being at the event and really just what the 501st does for the area. So then people have like an understanding of like who they are, what they do, and such.
Cool. I don't know if I'll be able to get anybody. There's a couple people I want to talk to. One dude I
I have a
want to try
list
to
of some
find
people
is
right now.
I want to find the guy that does the all the lighting, like the Imagineer that does the lighting for like Galaxy's Edge and for Avatar, because especially for Avatar, because it's lit up in such a certain way to make it look alien at night. Because Star Wars is like just like a lot of lamps and like ambient lighting to like light up the spires and stuff, which is like it's
Yeah.
cool. But Avatar looks alien, so I want to be like, who are you and how did you do it? So should I shave the beard and keep just the mustache?
Just shave the entire thing off.
I did already. I did already like 2 weeks ago, and then I hated it. But I had the stash for like about 4 hours, and I was like, you can't see it from afar, but I'm like, it looks like a prepubescent boy, but I look like vote for Page. See, but it's like because at least mine's light. It's not as bad when you do a mustache. You straight up look like vote for Pedro from
Okay, chill.
Napoleon Dynamite. Hey, bro, I'm just spitting the facts. Jackson, you think if somebody dropped you in Skyrim with nothing but your hands, do you think you would last a week? Do you think you would last a couple of days, or do you think you would upon realizing that you were in Skyrim, you would probably kill yourself? Where do you think you're lying?
I don't even want to answer. What is the relevance to any of this?
Just answer
I would be the Dragonborn. I would be the Dragonborn.
I would kill myself. But you tell me that you pop up in Skyrim and you go, oh, there's dragons and there's like winter and I have
clearly
to put
this guy hasn't been to
so
Whiterun before.
No, I haven't. I haven't even played Skyrim yet.
It's a great game. You should play it.
I know it's on everything now.
It's just crime.
Maybe I'll get it on. Maybe I'll get it on this computer and I'll play it. Maybe
it's on the old Xbox that you have.
Is it digital download or is it the disc?
It might be the disc.
Yeah, guess what? I don't have.
You're going to be back there in a few months, so you can wait.
A few months? I might not care by then. That's the relevancy, is how much do I care? All right, let's derail this. There's no more Star Wars.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no more Star Wars talking
about. Talk about whatever.
We've just been de-rolling. Roll the outro, Jacob. Roll the outro for the people.
Already? You want to already?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk your shit? You don't want to...
What else do we have? What else do you want to talk about?
How about if you... Okay, so Skyrim. You think you're Dragonborn. I'm killing myself. How about Plants vs. Zombies? How long do you think you're lasting?
I would just not want to partake in that universe.
Oh, so you would kill yourself.
Let's not do that, Jacob. Okay. Let's end this.
Okay. Jackson doesn't want to participate in my little game. No. I'm like Saw, and my little game is: will you survive in Skyrim or will you jump off the highest mountain? So we mentioned earlier that we had a new outro, and it's done by my absolute cutie pop, my favorite guy, Mark Thompson. So he gave us a bit to work with. So I'll definitely you'll see a bunch of it later. But We're just going to play it for you. We're going to sit here and we're going to stare into your soul. So to all my audio listeners, you get to listen. To all my video watchers, I'm going to have a staring contest with you, and let me know who wins in the comments below. Ready, go.
Hello there. This is Mark Thompson. I narrate a bunch of the Star Wars audiobooks, and I just want to make sure that you subscribe to the 1313 podcast on YouTube and join their Discord to talk about some awesome Star Wars people. Follow them on social media and be sure to support them on Patreon and become a channel member for only $1 a month. Also, you can buy awesome merch if you want to look as cool as them. It is not an exaggeration to say this podcast is a work of art. Punch it, Chewie. Do or do not subscribe. There is no try. You're gonna love the 1313 podcast. There's a boom boom. If you don't subscribe, we're doomed. Do or do not subscribe. There is no try. Hello there. This is Mark.
So that's it. You'll hear bits and pieces of those thrown out probably either at the beginnings of episodes or later, or just like as little tags. Especially when we're live, I'll turn those into overlays so we can do stuff for our streams.
Yeah.
But with that, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, hit that subscribe, hit that like, leave a comment. Let us know how long you're surviving in Skyrim. And tell your grandma to take her cookies out of the oven. And tell your grandpa I want him.
Okay, Jacob, cut the episode. I can't.